Hello all and welcome to Crochet Designs. My name is Mary. In today's tutorial we are working on part 1 of the granny square beanie that you see right here. Simply divine. Now it is to match our gorgeous granny square scarf. How about this one? Simply gorgeous. I love it so much, and I love that they are a matching set now too, which is fantastic. The first thing I want to do is say a special thank you to the lovely Anne McSee and Green Butterfly for their colour combination today, which they chose on our live antics on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Melbourne, Australia time. Marry that up with your country. We have a thing called live antics every Saturday morning, sometimes every second Saturday mornings when we are in between big projects. And what happens there is one lucky subscriber usually gets the chance to choose the colour combination of our next tutorial. But because we were doing the scarf with the matching beanie, I chose 2 subscribers to help choose what kind of granny square scarf we were doing and the colour combination and the rest of it. So there you go. All right. So thank you very much, Anne and Green. Let's get on with the video very, very quickly. This is only part 1. You will be doing granny squares only, and then I'll get you to come back for part 2 on Monday. All right. So what you will need today is your 8-ply or your DK weight yarn. Now we use the same yarn to match the scarf as well. It is an 8-ply DK weight or a 3 weight, and it says there you need a 4mm. We are using a 4mm hook. Yes, and don't forget you need plenty of stitch markers, plenty, maybe 4, 5, 6, I can't remember, although for this tutorial you'll probably only need, you'll need a few more. Yep. You'll need sewing needle to weave in ends. If you're going to do that in this tutorial, you probably won't until you see part 2. Part 2 is already recorded. As you can see, it's complete. It just hasn't been edited, so I'm going to do that and get it ready for Monday. But I use this one here as well to help get through certain stitches for just weaving. Not that I used for weaving in ends. This one here I used for just getting through certain stitches without splitting the yarn. And you'll come across that in part 2. But if you don't have one of these, just use your basic needle. All right, heads up there. Just a sewing needle to help you weave in those ends. All right. So there you go, guys. This is an adult beanie, kind of to fit everyone, but I do give you an option if you wanted to make yours a little longer, you can. I did keep the base of our beanie very simple, only because I wanted to highlight, can we bring this out a little more? That's it. I wanted to highlight the squares so that they match our scarf. All right, I wanted it to match the scarf. I wanted the colours to burst, so I kept that very simple. All right, that's all I want to say about that, guys. I'm going to let you head off on your own and create this gorgeous granny square beanie. Good luck all. Alrighty, guys, we're going to start off by making a magic loop. Grab the tail end of your yarn and pop it in front like so. Yeah. Grab the working end of your yarn, if I can get it right, and wrap it around your 2 fingers like that, forming a little X. Notice I lifted my finger there. Yep. All right, so pop your hook under the first loop, grab that back loop and pulling it up forward. What you have is 1 there, and 2 in front. What you want to do is grab everything, holding it carefully, like so. Then you chain 1, and that's yarn over your hook. Pull a loop through to the loop on your hook once. Yarn over a second time. Yarn over a third time. Don't move this center. Yeah. Pop a yarn over your hook. You're going to put a double crochet in the same center, crocheting over your tail as well. So got your yarn over your hook. Yep. This is double crochet US treble UK. Pop your hook in the center, pull a loop through, continue to hold it, yeah. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Now you can let go a little bit. Just grab your little tail, give it a gentle tug, not too much because we want to fill up that center. At the same time, what I want you to do is just lift your tail a little bit, grab a stitch marker. All right, so got your stitch marker. That's the stitch that we just made. The one right next to it, you want to pop your stitch marker in the top 2 loops of the chain 3 from before. It's a top chain of that chain 3. Now, if you don't have a stitch marker, use a paper clip, safety pin, piece of thread, whatever you have in stock, but use something. All right, then you pop your hook back in your loop. In the circle, we're going to continue to do double crochets US, trebles UK. Just one more for now. Yarn over your hook, into the center, still crocheting over your tail, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through the last 2. If you don't crochet over your tail in this round, you're not going to have the center pull, which will be, that's why they call it the magic loop, yeah? So now you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. And then you're going to put 3 double crochets, like this one, in the center as well. And off we go. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, 1 and 2. We are doing the chain 2s to form the corner. We are doing the cluster sets to form the sides and the corners, yeah? In the space with 3 double crochets, still crocheting over your tail. 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and 2, and 3 double crochets in the center. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, 1 and 2. What you have is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. You've actually formed your square, but not yet. Now what we need to do, before we slip stitch to join, we need to grab this little tail and give it a tug. And presto, just like that, you've got your magic loop. Now don't cut this thread. You need to sew that in as well, because a lot of people don't weave that in and then wonder why their center comes undone. That is not knotted. That's just crocheted over. Yeah. All right. So what you want to do now is slip stitch to join. Mine's going to be really tight. Hopefully yours isn't as tight. You want to pop your hook in that tight stitch with your stitch marker. There we go. Pop your hook in, pull a loop through, and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Remove that stitch marker. Yeah. So now you have your you got your 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Yeah. From here, we're going to chain 1. Normally we would crochet in the round, but for consistency of keeping it the same as our scarf, we're going to turn our pieces as well. All right. So what you're going to do is flip your work. So you're working on the back of your piece now. You're going to slip stitch into the space. That's just going through the space. Pull a loop through like so and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Give it a gentle tug. Chain 1, 2, and 3. Grab your stitch marker. Now I did that one a little loose this time because I struggle at the end of the round. Yeah. All right, so there's my chain 3 and the stitch markers in the chain 3. Make sure your work didn't spin around when you let go of it, yeah? Yarn over your hook. We're going into the corner again with 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Now it's very similar, or almost, actually it's exactly the same as our scarf, but the rounds are less. All right, so if you've done our scarf, this will be easy for you. If you're new and this is the first time you're seeing me do this particular square, then what you need to do is jump over these 3 double crochets, go into the corner with a corner cluster set of 3 double crochets. Chain 2. and 3 double crochets, all in the corner space. All right. It's very simple. The granny square is so easy to make. I love making them. Jump into that corner, making your corner cluster set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2. 3 double crochets, all in the same space. Yeah, so what you've formed, my yarn is caught, sorry guys. So what you've formed so far is one cluster set, which is one of these you've formed right here, of 2 double crochets in the chain 3. The chain 3 acts as a double crochet, yeah? One corner, a second corner, we're going to make that third corner of 3 double crochets. That's all it consists of this round, corner cluster sets, yeah? So 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 2, and 3 double crochets. I tell a lie, there is more that's involved. Once we finish this corner, I'll explain it to you. Okay, so there is more, I meant to say there is more that's in this round. You've only done 1 cluster set in the corner at the beginning. Then you jumped into the corner and did a corner cluster set. Next corner, did a corner cluster set. Third corner, did a third corner cluster set. Now you want to complete that 4th corner that you initially started 1 set with. So you're going to jump over these double crochets, pop into the space with 1, 2, and 3, making sure your work is kind of pushed over when you make these, yeah? Chain 1 and 2, and we are going to slip stitch into the stitch with a stitch marker to complete the corner in this round. So pop your hook in, pull a loop through, pull it through to the loop on your hook, remove your stitch marker. Chain 1, tighten your work, turn, slip stitch into this space, pull a loop through, pull it through to the loop on your hook. You have completed round 2. Chain 1, 2, and 3. Notice how I tightened that first chain a little bit. Yeah. Pop your stitch marker in your third or your top chain there. 2 double crochets in the corner. 1 and 2. You will always start a round with this set. All right, so you won't be completing your corner at the beginning. You'll only be completing the other corners you come to. So in this round, because you've made your 2 corners on both ends, it's formed a space, a side space. You need to pop what we call 1 cluster set of 3 double crochets in that space. 1, no chaining, just go into the space doing 3 double crochets. Now the reason I've decided not to do chains, you can do chains in between spaces, and the reason I've decided not to is because I want to keep it more of a closed pattern for a beanie. You will still see a few of the gaps, that's normal, yeah, but not as much as if you had chains, all right? So I won't be chaining, and if you did chain, you need to check your measurements because that would make a difference to the size of your beanie because the chain would make it wider and bigger, yeah? All right, now we're jumping into the corner with a corner cluster set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, 1 and 2, and 3 double crochets. All right, so the jargon for this round is corner cluster sets in every corner and a 1 cluster set on every side space. So jump into your side space with 1 cluster set. So if you were to have read my written pattern when they go up on the website, that's what you will read. you will read one cluster set or a corner cluster set of 3, 2, 3. That's how I remember corners for this pattern. It's always 3, 2, 3. And the one cluster set's always 3. Okay, there's your 2 and there's your 3 in that corner. All right, super easy, the granny. It really is. Once you do 1 or 2, you can do the rest in front of the television. Seriously, it will be so easy for you. It really will. So along the side, we are doing 1 cluster set. Like so. And on the corners, we're doing a corner cluster set. 2, 3, chain 1 and 2, and 3 double crochets right there. 2 and 3. All right. I don't know why I took the hook out, because the yarn keeps getting caught. It gets caught under the table, guys. That's why I stop-start a lot. Okay, so on the side space, you're doing your 3 double crochets or 1 cluster set. Yeah. And when you get to this section here, once again, you need to complete this corner with 3 double crochets, right? So you see that space, you've got to be very careful not to go in that space because you've only got 2 there. You need to go into the large space. So yarn over your hook into that large area, not the smaller one, into the large space with 3 double crochets. Keep that in mind when you are going to head off on your own and complete a round, because it can be easily missed. Yeah. And then you're chaining 2, 1 and 2, and you want to finish off the corner by slip stitching into that stitch right there. Remove your stitch marker for a moment. Chain 1. You're going to turn your work and do another round. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you some instructions. All right. So that is actually the right side of your work, and the wrong side of your work has the tail. If you're going to forget the right and the wrong side of your work, grab a stitch marker, pop your stitch marker in any stitch, just around any stitch like that, on the right side of your work. So now, if you wanted to, which we're going to, weave in that tail. All right, so real quickly, grab your needle, thread your needle, your sewing needle, and weave in that tail. We're not finished with our rounds yet, but I want to weave in this tail. If you are not going to use a stitch marker, leave this tail to the very end of your piece when you're ready to attach, and then we can weave that in later. So all you need to do is pop through the first 3 stitches that you did. Remember, we crocheted over the tail a little bit. Make sure you can't see the needle. Yeah. Pull it through. Now, this is an absolute must to weave this tail in. Don't let anybody tell you that's not going to come undone. It can, because it's not knotted. Okay, we just crocheted over it. All right. So just splitting some of the inside of your piece. Check that you can't see the needle. No problems. All right, so make sure you go through once and go through the second time by turning it around. That way, give it a tug now, your thread will hide. But if you don't weave that end in and you cut it and then you pull this, it's likely to come undone. All right, we're actually going to do a repair on that one day, so keep that in mind. So you can leave a stitch marker there and that will show you the right side of your work. All right, so now you've got your stitch marker on, you know which is the right side. We're going to turn our work like normal and we're going to slip stitch into the space, pull a loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook like normal. Chain 1, 2 and 3. Replace that stitch marker. You know what? I'm going to get a different stitch marker. It's driving me up the wall, this one. It keeps getting caught. That's better. I'm so happy now. She's happy now, guys. Put 2 double crochets in the corner space like normal. That has not changed. Yeah. And what you want to do... Oh, hang on. I've only put 1. Hello. Let's do the second one. Come on, Mary. You can do this. What you want to do is continue along the sides. Now, right now we have 1, 2 spaces. So jump into your first space with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. All right. And then you're jumping into your very next space with your cluster set of 3 double crochets. And 3. And then you have your corner. All right. And you do your corners of 3, 2, 3, if that helps you to remember. That's 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 2, and 3 double crochets, like so, all in the same corner. All right, I don't think I need to show you anymore. I think you know what you're doing. You are doing 1, 2 sets across and then a corner. 1, 2 sets, corner. 1, 2 sets, corner. 1, 2 sets, and wait for me there. Head off on your own. Complete this round by doing 1, 2 set, corner. Meet me back here at the very last set and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this round. Oh, I got too tug happy. Pulled that too tight, so I'm going to have to do my last stitch. All right, so what you would have done was just that. You would have done 1, 2, corner, 1, 2, corner, 1, 2, corner, 1, 2, and I asked you to wait for me there. This is the corner we need to complete that corner. All right, so yarn over your hook, jump into the corner with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And now we are chaining 2, 1 and 2. We are going to slip stitch to join like normal. Pull a loop through, pull it through the loop on your hook, remove that stitch marker, pull up a loop and give your work a cut. Oops, I didn't even pick up the yarn then. So you just pull that loop through. All right, so at the moment we are on the wrong side of our work, yeah? The next round is going to be the right round, but we've cut our piece, haven't we? All right, what I want you to do before you do anything else, you need to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 more. You've got your 5th one there. You need to do 4 more. All right. So you need to have 5 squares exactly the same. Alrighty guys, so go ahead and create 4 more squares exactly the same way as you created our blue today. Meet us back here on Monday and we will put those squares together and complete the beanie. Alright, thank you very much for joining us today. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Do all the wonderful things that you guys pretty much already do for me. And a very special thank you to the lovely Anne McSee and Green Butterfly for their colour combination in today's tutorial. Catch you all on Monday. Ciao for now.